Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whoever is not here, gonna have to catch the replay. I am Nabi, the realtor, all things real estate. And welcome, welcome, welcome into the Home Buyers Seminar. And so I'm really pleased to see that I have my sponsor here, Natasha Ewing Johnson. She's here, even though her screen is on black. And Mr. Trent Turner. What I want to do is ask you guys to make sure that if you have any questions relating to what we're talking about today, you can put them in the chat and we'll man the chat and we'll give you an opportunity to, just speak it out when you get a chance. I know a lot of people have questions, especially in this current market. So people have some real concerns. There she is, the queen of real estate, the real estate strategist, Natasha Johnson. Woohoo! So we're going to get started. Like I said, whoever else is coming in, they'll just catch the replay. But I know people are concerned, especially with this market currently. But I want to assure you that, as I said earlier, you make money when you buy, and that's coming just from a real estate investing standpoint. But when you purchase a home, purchasing the home is like, it's the biggest decision that you could possibly make. It's very serious. You can't play with it. You can't hem and haw with it. This is a very big investment. And so what we want to do is make sure you guys get equipped. You want to understand the buying process. You also want to understand, as far as how much house can I afford? You can't just get in the car and drive around and like, I want that. You want to know before you go. So that way you don't get caught out there. So, the whole pre-approval, I know some people are like, well, I don't want them to run my credit. Well, then you don't want a house.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Nabia. Thank you for having me on today. I'm super excited about the process. And those of you on here, I know you guys are excited to learn about how to move to sunny Florida. And we welcome you today. We want to get you started on that process right away. And I know that, so let's start with from the very beginning. How, getting started in the buying process. And I think step one is what we want to focus on at first, is like finding a real estate professional to work with. And the BIA is right there in Palm Beach, Florida, right?
Well, I personally moved here from Maui, so that's a big transition, right? That's a look at Trent's face, like, who leaves Maui? Like, yeah, nobody, nobody, nobody. And some of the people here, they know that I spent a lot of years in Maui, and so we call that like paradise. But when I got here, I found that, the beaches, so many beautiful beaches, a lot of tourists come here, people come here to retire. And so you have a lot of things that are available to you, a lot of places for you to go, whether you're into museums, if you're into sports. We've got the Buccaneers here, we got Miami Heat. I said, we got Miami Heat. So we have something for everyone. And so depending on what it is that you want to be your activity, I can just confidently tell you we do have it here in Florida. I'm going to give Natasha a little bit more opportunity to speak, and Trent as well. And I'm going to give you a boatload of things. I mean, it's a whole lot of things that you can do here, but a lot of people will move here, and the number one thing is the weather. It's the weather. It's just like shorts and t-shirts, but you don't have to worry about getting frozen out. Now, I will say that every now and then, and it also depends on what part of Florida you're in, the temperatures may drop, but I promise you it's not going to be anything like living in New York City or
So it's not like 30 degrees in the morning like it is in Georgia right now and 72 degrees in the afternoon.
don't make me curse. Don't make me curse. No, sometimes you wake up in the morning and it's already 72.
Oh my gosh.
I am in Southern Florida, Palm Beach Gardens. It's very beautiful here. The weather is always nice. I have friends that live in Central Florida, near Tampa, Orlando. The temperatures are cooler there. But, whatever your pleasure, some people want a little bit of both. And that's the beautiful thing about Florida. You can pick a particular city where it's kind of like, okay, it'll go up, it'll go down. For my personal taste, you can have all that. It needs to be hot all the time. But I am going to give you guys the opportunity to ask a few more questions. But yeah, Natasha, I just want to thank you for being here because you're awesome. I always introduce her by saying she has a million designations. She is your go-to for luxury homes. She is your go-to for getting it done. She is your go-to for getting it done. And she really is a real estate strategist. I've known her for a few years, and I love her integrity. I love her work ethic. And what she brings to the table is very valuable. I love the fact that she is honest with her people. Like, it's like, listen, you can't afford 4.2 million, but let's see what let's see. Let's talk about it. And she's
Yeah.
very encouraging, and she's stick with you. So, all right.
All
So,
right.
yes, Natasha.
So let's shift gears and get right into it. So let's talk about affordability. You mentioned that at the beginning of the call, and I wanted to shift right into that because a lot of people that are wanting to move to Florida, you know, after we get that real estate agent, we need to partner with a great lender. And I know we've got Trent on here to talk about how do we transition if you already own a home into another home in another state like Florida, or just getting started with the pre-approval process. So let's dive right into that discussion right away.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Come
Trent Turner here, NMLS 2078583. I'm a branch manager and partner with Family First Funding. We're licensed in over 35 states now. I'm personally licensed in 13. So I am a lender. We can start with what is a lender? A lender is someone who's going to lend you money to purchase your home typically in the form of a mortgage or a security document. And we work a lot with realtors. Sometimes we work directly with the individual, which is very rare, but we enjoy working with real estate professionals who really know what they're doing. I work a lot with Natasha. I'm really excited to work with Nabia in the future. I hope you've corrected me a few times. I said it right. Okay, good. So what we do is we want to partner with you for the long term. So as Natasha and Nabia were saying, real estate strategists, a lender is really your real estate consultant, a good lender. We're trying to put you in the best scenario for the long haul. We want to be your lender for, as long as you want to be in the real estate business, buying homes. So what we do is we go through, some lenders do pre-qualifications, which you tell them what's going on with you. Me and other folks, more prominent people in the lending space, like to do pre-approvals. And essentially all we do is we want to understand your employment, your income, whether that be your W-2, self-employed, 1099. We take that in. We want to understand what your liabilities are, what type of debts you have, car payments, student loans. We all have them. There's nothing to be shame about. And then we take that and we calculate what your affordability is, what you can afford to pay in terms of the federal guidelines for a mortgage. It's a very simple process, really quick and easy. And then once we have that, we'll spit out a pre-approval letter to you that you can then share with your realtor, and then you guys can go out and look at homes. Me personally, we'll send you whatever pre-approval you qualify for, but I'm a little bit more personable, and my team is as well, and really helping you understand what the potential payment's going to be, how comfortable you are with this, not going overboard, because we want you to be in a good position, and frankly, we want you to, be able to purchase your first home, but then down the road potentially buy your second home, your investment properties, and become that mogul that we all want to be. So we're here to do that and guide you through that process.
So one of the things about moving to Florida, I know a lot of people look at that as a retirement option. How do we get started that if you currently own a home, Trent, are there options that you guys have that will help someone make that transition really smooth?
Yeah, so if you're moving to Florida and you own a home already, and that's the Florida home is going to be your primary residence. What we can do is we can underwrite that scenario and pre-approve you for that home being a primary home without you selling your home. We could just basically get an appraisal on what the potential rents would be on the home, if you can get a lease in place. But it's very simple. If you have income, a job offer, or you thinking you're going to get a job offer, it's a really simple process of getting you pre-approved to move to Florida. You can do it as a second home, primary, investment property. There's so many ways we can help.
Well, I think the biggest hindrance I see people having right now is the interest rate. And one thing that people don't know about is like buy down. They can actually buy down the rate. I was talking to someone today about that. It's that, yeah, interest rates are high, but there are ways around it that you can still bring your regular monthly payment lower by potentially buying down the rate. So can you talk a little bit about that and how that works for someone saying, hey, I think I'm ready to move now. I'm tired of the cold weather. I'm ready to move to Florida. I'm ready for sunshine. I want to be there closer to Nabia so I can have fun with her and go play pickleball. I don't know. By the way, I don't know what
I'm ready to sell my
is.
house now. I got to talk my wife into it so I can hear
Listen,
her.
did you guys know that there's no income state tax here?
Oh, wow. That is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
So
So
other benefits of moving to Florida.
100%. So yeah, I try to tell folks who are looking to buy, don't focus so much on the interest rate, focus on the payment, and the payment in a way is a derivative of the interest rate. But you're absolutely right. No matter what the market rate is on, your mortgage, you can always choose to buy down, or in this environment, you can have the seller buy down your interest rate in the form of a 2-1 buy down at no cost to you. So we're seeing that a lot in Georgia. A lot of that's happening in Texas, happen a lot in like hot markets like just outside of DC, like the Virginia area, Florida
What's a
still.
2-1 buy down? I don't get it.
So a 2-1 buy down is essentially, let's say you want to purchase a home and the market interest rate on for you based on your scenario is 6%. So the seller can actually buy down your interest rate in the form of a credit at closing. And your interest rate, instead of a 6, it would be a 4 the first year, a 5 the second year, and a 6 the year, all years after that. It's still a fixed rate loan. You're just buying down the interest rate on the first 2 years. And then the cool thing about it, don't want to get too into the details because I know I don't want to confuse anyone.
Right.
Even if you were to sell the home or refinance the home, that credit that you didn't use would be issued back to you. So that's a pretty cool feature. And there's so many other things that we can do to help you realize an affordable mortgage payment.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good intel right there because people don't realize that they can buy down. And you walked in the door and you have this fixed idea, but this is why you want to talk to a lender because that's your main person you want to talk to as a realtor. Yeah, we can get the pointed out. So yeah, the crown molding, and we can look at the laminate flooring, but we can't help you with that part. So you want to make sure that is the important person that you are dealing with, that lender. So thank you so much, Trent, for that.
Yeah. And one other thing on the interest rate, I tell people that are very interest rate sensitive and they're hearing the news, if interest rates are 6%, 7% right now, or 5%, the interest rate on renting is 100%. It's 100% interest. You don't get any of that money put into the equity.
Absolutely.
You don't realize any ownership. So that's just something to think about. And there's so many other benefits to owning a home, but back over to you.
So again, I'm really, really excited about any opportunity that people can come to the table and sit and have a discussion. Also, I know that there are people that may watch this on a replay or maybe right here in the room that may be a little intimidating about the entire home buying process. But I want to assure you, you don't need to be that way. And so when you decide that you want a home, again, we want to talk to somebody like a Trent Turner. And then you also want to make sure that the agent that you're dealing with is versed in the contracts and then what's happening in the market. It's very, very important. You don't want to just pick somebody because that's your friend. You know, you want listen, I love all of y'all, but listen. What I don't know, I'll point you like you need to go over there. But as a realtor, I try to be as knowledgeable as possible. And you want somebody that's going to respect your time. And we do ask that you respect the time of the realtor. Those are just little things that I think that we need to keep top of mind as well. And so, Natasha, I'm going to turn it over to you because I want you to kind of walk them through what happens after you've gotten the loan. Now you're pre-approved. Now you know that you can afford this 550K house. Now what?
So one of the things that you need to do is establish an agreement with your real estate agent of choice or real estate professional. So here in Georgia, we have an exclusive buyer agreement that we sign with you. And to ensure that, hey, you understand that I have a fiduciary relationship to you, so that as you're sharing personal information to me, because this is a very intimate process, right? I tell all of my buyers that I work with, hey, we're going to be friends for life. Literally, I have a good time with them. We go out, we laugh, we talk. We talk about the things they hate about the house, love about the house, and I get to know them and their families. So before I even start that relationship, it is required as realtors that we put that relationship in writing. It just protects myself as a agent, as well as it protects you. And we want to put that in writing and have that signed off on. So once we have that signed off on, and we know from your lender, and hopefully it's Trent, hey, this is how much you can afford. Say, let's say you can afford that $500,000 house or that $1 million house that you've been dreaming of on the beach, walking distance, your beachfront property. Yes,
I'm
it's
not that far from the beach,
excited.
y'all. Don't play. I
Our
don't.
walking distance from the beach or wherever you so deem it to be. We want you to go ahead, and the next step is let's go shopping. So you know what price point you're working with. Your real estate agent is going to start sending you information on availability, specifically on the specifics that you're looking for. So you want to specify bedrooms, baths, location, etc. What's important to you, the priorities, the must-haves. Yeah, I can live without this, but I would like to have this. And
Right.
definitely some boundaries, like you don't want to live, maybe you don't want to live directly on the beach. You want to be within a 5-minute walking distance from the beach, or you do want to live on the beach, right? You wanted to make sure it's a beachfront property that you open up your front door and you're right there on the beach every single morning. So whatever your requirements are, you discuss that with your real estate professional, and then we hit the road shopping. Identify those properties that meet the criteria you're looking for,
Yes.
and we go shopping. Once we identify the property that you are looking for, the next step is, yes, let us put an offer on that property. And your real estate, a real good real estate professional will look at the comps in the area, even that you're buying, so comparable properties, to ensure that, hey, someone listed their house at $2.5 million, but really was really worth about 1.8. And based on the comps on the area and the upgrades in the house, et cetera, we're thinking we want to put an offer for 1.8 million. So that professional help walk you through and strategize for the process to get you started. We're going to put together an offer that we sell to that seller's agent. And once the offer is accepted, we are now under contract. So what I do for my buyers, I send them my 10 commandments of what not to do once you're under contract. If you are financing the project or financing this, or it's not a cash purchase, which some of you on here may be wanting to purchase a property cash, which is great, which eliminates some of the financing and contingencies, et cetera. But if you're not and you're financing that property, we want to ensure that we put a contract together that works for you, and we attach that pre-approval. We talk about what contingencies we want. So once we're under contract and that contract, the offer has been accepted, we are now what's under contract. The next step is that we're going to get your house inspected. That's a crucial part, right? And it's not just the house. There may be supplementary inspections that need to take place. For example, does the house come with a pool? It's quite common in Florida to have an indoor pool. and you want to have that pool inspected, right? The pool pump. I just recently was able to sell a lakefront property. We had to have certain things tested around the lakefront and the deck and depth and things like that. So you've got to look at a professional that's going to help you navigate that space, ensure you're getting the correct inspections done so that there are no surprises once you move into the house and then you're like, oh my gosh, your roof is leaking. Well, an inspection prevents you. So you do pay for that up front. So I tell my buyers, expect to pay, depending on the number of inspections that need to take place, anywhere from $350 to as much as $1,500. You can have a pool inspection. Here in Georgia, we have septic tanks. You can have septic tank inspection, roof inspection, termite inspection. There are multiple types of inspections that can take place. And we have a period called the due diligence period in which we're looking at those inspections, right? And then your agent can talk to you about if there are things identified during that inspection that the seller either needs to remediate, or you can get a concession from the seller and fix those things yourself. And your real estate professional, you will have that discussion up front. All right. So once we get past that stage of the process of being under contract, then we go back to the lender. The lender is going to do what's called order an appraisal. Is that house really worth the $1.8 million that was offered and accepted? Right? Here's where you're going to order an appraisal, and depending on the size of the property will depend the cost of the appraisal, of course, because appraisals vary in price based on square footage. So, if you're buying a 2,000 square foot house versus a 12,000 square foot house, of course, the cost will vary appropriately. And that lender can help you and will tell you the cost of what that will be and get that appraisal ordered. Hey, Trent, do you want to talk a little bit about the appraisal process?
Sure. I think the first thing to say about appraisals, an appraisal is a third party assessment of the value of the home. The appraisal is to protect you, the buyer, as well as us, the lender, to ensure that you're not paying over the market value of the home. You can, if we can order an appraisal and it comes back in lower, you can still move forward with purchasing the home if you want to. And it's also to protect us, the lender, that we're not over lending on a property that's not worth that much. And then you're
Correct.
down the road, you're in a situation where you're making payments on a home and you're not feeling good about it. And we just want you to understand right up front, from a neutral party, not the lender, not the seller, not the buyer, that this is the market value of the home. And then just to take it a step further, we order the appraisal through an appraisal management company that then selects a local appraiser. So it's an arm's length transaction, and it should always be, to ensure that no one's really pushing you to purchase this home, or you have all the facts and the knowledge. And that appraisal is going to contain square footage, comps, outside of the comps your realtor may or may not have provided to you. And if you're purchasing a home with an FHA, that appraisal, we think so much of appraisals in the lending business that actually runs with the home for 6 months, or a VA appraisal. So it doesn't just go away. Even if you don't purchase the home, someone else comes and tries to get it, that appraisal is going to stick with that home. So I would always encourage, even if you're paying cash, to get an appraisal. It's just peace of mind. Typically, an appraisal is $550 to $600 on a general average home. Now, if it's a luxury home, like Natasha's example, 12,000 square feet, typically the appraiser will want to charge more because there aren't a ton of comps like that. I know Nabia mentioned Jupiter, Florida. There's a ton of those down there. But in general, your lender's going to fight for you and say, hey, if it's a 3,000 square foot house, there's not going to be a premium over a 2,000 square foot house. But would always encourage everyone to make sure that they get an appraisal. That's pretty important.
Awesome, Trent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, there's so much to the process of purchasing. We want you to be knowledgeable. I know I'm going to have to come in and do another one because I've had some interest in those programs for first time home buyers, or there are programs where they will actually pay you to leave where you are and go and live in another state or in a particular city. And Trent and I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier with Bank America, where they had a particular loan that was for Hispanics and for Black people. So there are a ton of first-time home buyer programs. A lot of people are doing them. And again, it's something that if you're interested in, you really want to talk to a professional, but I do encourage you to do your own due diligence because they are all made differently and there are pros and cons to different ones. And so you just want to be knowledgeable about what it is that you're looking for. So at this stage, I'm confident to say that pretty much anybody can own a home. And we may get into scores. As far as I know, and you guys can correct me, the lowest score that you can have is 580. But if you can, and you can lower, right? But if you are in one of those programs, as I understand it, as today, there's no minimum score. There's no minimum. So, and again, that depends on what program you are in. And so, again, there's so much knowledge out there. And as I tell my clients, ignorance is not an excuse. Not knowing how or not knowing is not an excuse. The information is out there. And so, if you are in here, obviously you can reach out to Natasha, you can reach out to Trent, you can reach out to me, and whoever we don't know, we can get you to the right person that's going to best serve you. And so we just want to be a conduit of information and resources for you. Trent, you were saying lower.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
A couple of things, and there's so many different programs, but let's start with one of my favorites. I always ask when I'm having an initial consultation with a potential borrower or client, are you a veteran? Because the VA has no minimum credit score, and it's actually VA loans are typically 0% down. Additionally, USDA loans 0% down.
I love USDA.
What's that?
I love USDA loans.
Yeah, so it's a totally underrated program. You can Google search if an area is within the rural character area as defined by USDA, and me and my team can help you with that as well. FHA 3.5% down, but many of as you were mentioning, the state funded down payment assistance, federally funded down payment assistance, they're willing to give you. Florida is 10,000. Georgia just increased theirs 10,000. That's applicable to the down payment or closing costs. Texas 10,000. There's some minimum requirements associated with that. If anybody wants to know, I'm happy to reach out to me. I don't charge anything for a consultation. I talk all day for a living, so I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has. But all of these things are available to you, and you're right. Home ownership is within reach to most folks. We have a sports and entertainment division that we recently launched here in Atlanta. So we've done a couple of professional athletes in Florida, Georgia, Louisiana recently, and we do multi-million-dollar homes. But I often do homes under $300,000, under $200,000 as well. So with folks making close to minimum wage jobs, it's within reach. We can help you. We want to work with everyone. And most good lenders do. So it's totally within reach. Don't feel discouraged. And a good lender and their team, let's say we run an application, the credit isn't the best, because we don't say, we typically don't say, no, we want to put you on a roadmap. So you can really materialize that dream of owning a home or owning another home, an investment property. Like, it's totally doable. And you just got to get with the right folks to guide you and, help you out.